Good evening and welcome to an SGLIVE 2025 matchup between OpnoPoint and Ramrodius. These two are still fighting it out for a spot in the next stage of this tournament. With OpnoPoint having two races under his belt, we'll need one more to kind of guarantee a good chance at some next round action, whereas Ramrodius needs a couple more wins under his belt to be able to achieve the same result. So still time for both. We'll see if Opno can basically punch their ticket or if Ramrodius will be able to get their first win on the board and start their progress towards the end goal. I am Furious K, as I am joined by Crumb79 in the background tracking for us. We should be underway here in not too much more time. Both runners are set and ready to go, so should be a fun match where we get to see where they start and just how much trolling or fun shenanigans ensue. Does not look like it's too far from your vanilla start, so should see both runners track through vanilla locations as is per the norm in this flag set. The heart container is the Armos item, so there's no particular rush to get there, other than the fact that you need 5 hearts to get the white sword item should you find it. The medium secret is the dominant secret of this. There's only one large, there's, I believe, 6 small, so that is going to dictate a lot of the money for the seed. At 28, it is a little bit low rolled, so that is going to cause a little bit of money crunch. And with a near max or exactly maximum door repair, that's going to also hurt just as much. Looks like we're setting up for an even money seed, though, with 18 small, so those 6 will equate to a decent chunk. It'll put you over the 100 rupee mark across them all. If you find them all, speaking of finding things, though, we find level 4 swordless. And Ramrodius should be able to maybe look through some rooms, but don't know that dark nuts and ropes are going to be something we could progress by. Even with a candle, I think the ropes would take a while, so Ramrodius should be able to make their way up here instead and leave one behind until a sword is found. Outside of that level 4 find, except for this take any one cave in the dead-end open cave, not much is found on either side. Not too surprising to see them both kind of progressing through the same route. This is the obvious route from the start point. Gibdo on the overworld, one of the dungeon enemies shuffled up. Looks like both runners will be on level footing again, as OpnoPoint is about to find level 4. With the candle, can clear one additional room, but looks like they will opt to go up and make sure there isn't a freebie up here before maybe looking through. And then, of course, pirouetting that key door, as this overworld movement will allow that. I see Lionels and Moblins on the overworld, I believe, so that means that Gibdo should most likely be the only thing that's moved up. We do have plus 2 HP keys, looks like. Does it look like they took 2 candle shots? So yes, we will be able to clear this room with a little bit of good luck with this last piece. unfortunately, nothing much in here. Don't know that Opno fancies using bombs in here. May hold on to the bomb packs for overworld exploration. Any roads for Ramrodius, and so far just kind of meh. Yeah, just meh. There is the aforementioned heart container under the Armo statue. And OpnoPoint is about 2 seconds from upping and getting out of this dungeon, I think, and probably saving, unless they want to use some bombs. Or a retry. That's also a fair point. That will reset down to a 0 count, which means the first blue enemy should potentially drop a bomb. Instead, level 1 underneath the burn bush, just next to Vanilla Start. We'll see if there's an easy item in here. There's more keys. Ramrodius looks at the coast item, the magic boomerang out there, probably only going to be gettable on a world wrap. Not necessarily something that you're going to come back to super late in the game. Alright, do we have a transport in a segment 1, or do we have the item? It is definitely an item, and I believe the hockey stick should be the white sword. Yeah, the white sword. Nice. Level 9, by the way, is in the upper forest Armos item. Nice kinetic key. Be able to get that door to stay open. We'll also get a key, so OpnoPoint doing a good job of using some tech to conserve resources. And meanwhile, Ramrodius is going to get the northeast corner knocked out, so there's a good shot that they might find the sword up here. If it's not up here, then it's probably Grave or Death Mountain bound next. Level 1 in these unsorted shapes doesn't look too much bigger than normal, so not a big deal at all. No segments, of course, so that's always a little bit helpful. I guess it looks somewhat like a vanilla level 5 that's kind of been halved. The bottom half's been taken off of it or something. A little bit of unfortunate death there, I should say. Being sent back to start. Hopefully there isn't a sword up there. There is an item, however, on the floor at 1 in any key, so level 1 is definitely paying off in terms of your progression, in terms of combat, and being able to get through dungeons a little bit more effectively. So, so far so good on this dig. Looks like Darknuts rolled up at least 1 or 2 HP. And with 5 hearts, Ramrodius should be able to get the white sword item if we find it. So that's a potential boon there, as Opno still on 3. Keeping with tradition, we find the compass not too long after we find the Triforce in this one. And really, the enemy set here has not been bad at all. Just 1 Dark Nut room so far, and a raft is the final item in 1. Somewhat helpful, but perhaps the least helpful of the overall progression items. Yeah, the bomb prices, the door repairs are both the same number, 25 rupees on both. So the money's going to be tight, but the enemies so far that dropped the bombs have not rolled too terribly, so perhaps something that both runners will benefit from, as we have the first Triforce on the board. Opno with the early beat, but still plenty of time left in this one. Ramrodius, unfortunately, I think, got killed near where the wood sword ended up being in this one. I think there's only 1 more cave potentially on the board other than the one he died next to. The 105 large is somewhat helpful. But it is the only one, so we'll see what Opno elects to buy. With the Uni key, that does change some of the potential priority of the shops. Not all runners buy keys early, but some do. If Opno is one of those, that would obviously take those off the board. Leaving mostly wood arrows, maybe a bait, and then otherwise just kind of bomb money, as we do find the wood sword is in the waterfall. Opno now going to try and catch up on some of this overworld information. I believe Ramrodius is about to find a level 1, so the deficit in combat should potentially be gone here. I believe that the maybe the Kinetic key is potentially a little bit helpful here, but I don't think it's required, and I don't think it's required to have many more keys to get to the Any key in this dungeon either, so even if we use this key on this door, I think it's all still okay. Looks like level 3 is at the Forgotten Spot. And meanwhile, Ramrodius should be able to get the white sword as they've cleared the keys. So combat should be evened up now. Looks like they're going to up an A and maybe take a different direction in this dungeon. The bow is in 3, so another big item found early. Unfortunately, it looks like bombs may be thwarting much in the way of progression in this level 1. I didn't realize it earlier, but with Ramrodius down to 0. That definitely is going to cause a few problems here. Compass in the Chevy moat room, so we will be able to find the Triforce using the compass. Not fully sure if we saw the Triforce. The map will at least clue Ramrodius into where they may need to go, but will require a bomb. I think with level 1 being this size and being a fairly easy enemy set, we'll probably just farm a bomb as quickly as possible off some of these Octoroks, or maybe look for another screen that's a little bit easier to do so. Lionels aren't super easy, but White Sword is in hand, so... Never mind, this blue Octorok screen works out just fine. So, should see a return to 1. Opno, meanwhile, still in 3, cleaning up some more checks, finding a Patra. Key is not too important, but is getting pushed to the side, and we did find a wand while I was looking at the other screen, so the items are both found. It's just a question of whether or not the Triforce is gettable at this point. Again, not too bad of a shape here. Not sure what rooms are left on the other side of this dungeon, but it looks like the Triforce isn't over here. For those making their way in from raids or from the other races going on, currently the Triforce lead is 2 Triforces to 0. Money in the seat is mediocre, but not awful considering second quest. The difference between the runners is not particularly large at this point, given that Ramrodius should catch up momentarily on the level 1 dig, so it'll come down to whether or not they find level 3 in a reasonable time to see if they can keep that combat reasonably close. Both runners now at the required heart container count to be able to acquire the White Sword item, which we have yet to see. Big shield is purchased. Not a bad idea, given that I guess the only things that you can really look for are perhaps wood arrows, which, you know, I think with the bow in hand, I probably think about. And then maybe the bait, although the bait blocks, the odds of that are not particularly high. Feels like it's under 10%, so not particularly something that a lot of runners prioritize early, as Ramrodius should have his Triforce 1, yes, so all the items over there have been acquired. Nope, really cheap candle if we hadn't picked one up already, but such is life. I think both runners have seen that price now, so it's, again, you take the first candle and kind of give it to you in these seeds. You never know where the candle cave will be. I find even when I get the large shield and I face off against Lionels, I still try and run away from him and take the shot anyways. It always amazes me when someone doesn't have like the auto reflex to try and dodge it and take it to the side instead. Both runners now have checked at least the lake raft spot. I don't recall seeing either runner get over to the coast raft spot. Obviously, Ramrodius had just gotten his raft, so not not able to get there yet on his end, but I don't think Opno gets stopped over there. I do see a lot more people getting the letter in this flag set, given that the magical sword heart container count is at 12 and not 10 to 14, or as I say, permanently 14. I think a lot more runners kind of route that into their potential game plan should it be somewhere convenient. But that being the case, you want to save those take any one hearts and not take the potion sometimes. So I think that's what's caused that uptick in getting the letter. Some dislike having to rotate through it on their screen. Level 8 in a very typical second quest 7 type spot. Despite being unsorted shapes, with there only being 3 in this setup, 7, 8, and 9, 8 still tends to be reasonably large. It can shrink a little bit, but I haven't seen too many wild ones where it's like down in the 20s, or it's usually right around 30, 35, 40. So let's see if we get one of those rare, really small ones, or if it's kind of holds true to pattern. I think as a runner, you're probably rooting against the really small 8 because it just means the 9 is going to be that much more troublesome, and this is not a small 8. This appears to be like a 39 room 8, so looks like we'll have fairly reasonable dungeons. I think both runners are going to be in 8 shortly. Ramrodius on his way in as well. Wizrobe's in here, so the wand advantage will not be felt quite as significant as it might be in some other dungeons, like the ones with the Dark Nuts. And Opno's getting trapped in this corner just a little bit. It's not an easy room to fight in. There's no doorway to kind of hide in, so you just got to make the most of it. And well, they're going to use their potion here, which is it's a reasonable call, I would say. Wants to make sure there isn't something big and fancy behind some of the shutter doors here. We'll get to clean out most of this corner, barring a Wizrobe room coming up. Nope, no Wizrobe room up here. This is up A territory. I think Ramrodius should be in and around where the map is. I think it's the room below, maybe. Nope, never mind. That's the start room. Where was it? Somewhere over here. It was not far from start at all. See if Ramrodius wants to go up here, or if they look at this and just nope. We might try and bomb over here, then nope. or a forced nope, all the same in the end. Speaking of forced nopes, we're both back to start. An equal opportunity 8. Gotta love it. A recorder on the floor in level 8, so we do have an item out. And it sounds like our trekker Crump is suggesting that the heart container is also the white sword item, so you won't see the old man on the tracker in the middle today, but that is what that item is. The other raft spot now is officially dead, so raft was not required for much of anything. So for those who may have missed something in the hiccup there, it's white sword item, heart container, flute, and Triforce out of 8 for OpnoPoint. And we're making use of the flute to try and check some spots up here. I wonder if OpnoPoint is kind of going more of a jet strategy now with the recorder in hand. He's able to return to places. Seems to be a fairly common strategy these days. If you get the recorder, you're more inclined to dig until you're forced to, or you tend to Triforce and go until you're forced to turn around. Not every runner subscribes to it, but a good chunk have started to go that route. Leads to some wild and crazy good times and some wild and crazy not so good times, depending on your luck. Looks like we have a return trip to level 4. Ramrodius did not know about the ladder block to the north. Could be some bomb walls that would work out, though. As far as why Ramrodius is behind, there's a question in chat. Not as behind as it might seem. The recorder and the Triforce are pretty close together at 8. Just a combat death or 2 was enough to make them decide to bail. They have a little bit more overworld knowledge. It's being caught up to, but still has a slight advantage there. The only spots I think Opno's kind of work their way to are the spots north of the raft spot, which is where level 3 was, which is where the bow was, and the wand. So you can get both those items pretty easily. This is not the room to fight level 4. I think Ramrodius has decided that is his thoughts too. both runners still kind of covering each other's tracks here, both taking out some of the leftover checks from not having bombs, or maybe spots they hadn't recovered from being in dungeons for a little while. So not too much in terms of new information to us in the booth or in the chat, but I think Ramrodius should be able to give us some new stuff to look at here in just a moment, as they look primed for a Death Mountain visit. Going left from here, we'll need to force a bomb or get a bomb drop to be able to get all the caves potentially opened, as wood arrows are purchased. I think that with the bow in hand, that is a very reasonable decision to come to. There is the bomb pack there, so it takes the blue ring out of play momentarily, but the bombs are definitely needed to finish completing this leg of Death Mountain. Door repair would have taken us out of range anyways. Looks like we do have a dungeon on Western Death Mountain. It is level 7. This dungeon has been reasonably notorious lately for having the big item. We'll see if that holds true here. Nothing else. It does like to give the early Triforce and mess with the runners, so that might be another thing to look out for. There is found. It is segmented, and it's taken the place of a larger dungeon, so the dig might be a little bit more complex. We did find a way around the bait block, so that is not required to this point. I don't think it will be. Don't see much in Opno's inventory, so it looks like Triforce and Go is still the play for a little while. Theoretically, I don't think we've looked at every wall level 4 yet, so ladderless is still plausible, although not looking too great. Opno should be inbound to 7 momentarily. Opno should be inbound to 7 momentarily. Pulls voice in the next room. That's a nice little greeting there. Very small level 6. A bomb upgrade. It's decent. And a Triforce out of 7 for OpnoPoint. If they hold true to the Triforce and go, we'll see them leave. Opno should happen upon the Triforce pretty quickly in this 6 as well, so maybe another Triforce can go incoming. It's a good question by chat. I did not see it. Item get here from Ramrodius, and that's a ladder, so that is going to probably unlock 4, which I believe is probably a ladder block based on what we saw. And there is the heart, so that is everything out of 6. Opno not too far behind. Gonna get the ladder here momentarily. The ladder could be the signal of, like, complete go for 9 mode. We'll see. So, from what I can tell, what Ramrodius needs to find is the return to 8. I believe the 2 was Deadwood's flute spot. I thought it looked like it was the south spot that Opno climbed up from afterwards. So that is the big obstacle there. We still don't have quite every dungeon knowledge. I think level 5 is outstanding. Looks like Power Bracelet is, in fact, in hand. Given that we found both items in 6 and they were only in level 7 otherwise, that makes that easy call, despite the fact that our fee dropped for that a little bit. I was gonna say, Opno, you got some bomb spots here. I think Opno was looking to jet ahead there just a little bit. I believe this is the third trip in. Now we can get past the ladder block and see what's in here. And nothing important in this 5, really. Hey, it came back up again, that's good. Red ring and 4. That is a map of 4 that exists for sure. That is a larger level 4 and really weird shape to it. All the way down in the leg of the pants is where it looks like the map was. It was in that blue dark ring. Looks like Opno's going to continue the dig in 4, has to make a decision to either dig it or go to 9, so it's, I think that's the two most obvious decisions based on the progression that's been carried out. Some nasty rooms in here still, though. Looking at the map coverage thus far, I think it's basically going to be core item on this side of the map, barring that one room that I saw. Dogger in this room as well. I think that's the second one we've seen here at least. And a book. So that will jet us down to the Triforce, and then it's decision time to make here. Opno could choose to go to 9 and hope the silver's there, or we're re-digging some dungeons. I believe level 2 would have Prio, so that would be my guess, but you never know. Of course, they have to get the red ring on the way. They have not seen it yet, but see it now. Unfortunately, Ramrodius will not see the book because they do not have the recorder out of 8. They did not make it far enough in there to see it. So that kind of eliminates them from being able to full clear this dungeon. The book is not extremely useful at this point in the seed for them. If it were me, I'd go 2 and then 9, probably. I feel like 9 is going to be small. Given the flute here, I think that is likely what Opno's doing. Ramrodius, meanwhile, is going to 8. This will be the play to make to get the recorder. If the silvers are here, that is kind of the one that was obvious based on our maps of 7 and 8. Small sometimes means that it is very segmented and no bomb walls exist. See if that holds true, or if we get some bomb walls. The first one opens at least. Here's the Insta-Roar. And now we won't let you bomb anymore. Oh hey, it's a Dig Dogger at 9. God, I love the Dig Doggers at 9. So we're back again. We'll see if we get to see the path again. Looks like we're not too far away now, but I would guess we've already tried bombing there. Yeah, it looks like this is a 9 of fun. Staircases galore. And that's an unfortunate death. I don't think that was the dark room with the recorder. I think it's up in the ways. I guess we already got the recorder based on the fact that nothing dropped in that room this time for Ramrodius. So they're just hunting the second, the second staircase item in the, excuse me. Dig Dogger guards the way to the... Nope. Park container. We got what, this wizard room? Gotta be honest, it's a little disjointed for me, so I can't tell for sure how many staircases we've cleared. Feels like there's been at least 4 different places we've been in here, so this is either 5 or 6 on the staircases. Yeah, this is a potion. I think the only thing that I would wager that we've got not marked is, I would guess Triforce 3 was not super difficult to get to, so I think it's probably down to just level 2, which we're looking for. I think it's the flute spot. And then 5, which I don't think he has the power bracelet for. Yeah, he flew to 3 just there, so that confirms that, at least. And it was a somewhat walkable path once we got one staircase out of the way, so maybe a little bit of a troll by Ganon on this design this time. That is not the room we're looking for. I believe that was one away from where I think Zelda's at. I think she's up there, from what I saw, next to that spiral staircase. So we gotta make our way back to whatever got us there. And then we're out of here. This side will also do. So get your GGs out for Opno. Looks like a 108.57 and a let's get out of here from Ramrodius. Which is fair. I believe, again, that they still had to get the power bracelet out of 7, which is pretty deep in there. And welcome in Opno, GG's.
Hi, thanks.
Looks like what accelerated you in the end was the flute get out of 8, which led to the knowledge of level 2, and probably just being able to Triforce and go a little bit until the game turns you around or you ran out of dungeons.
Yeah. Felt really good early on getting the white sword with just candle and bombs.
Yeah, I think Ramrodius got the wood sword first and then found their way to level 1 after that point. So a little bit of a lead there. I think there, maybe just, again, I'm trying to think of all the things that I can remember from the start of the seed. I don't think it was that far apart from the, as far as like progression, outside of just not finding level 3 for a while for him, but you started to find some of the Wizrobe dungeons at that point, so the wand, while useful for some of the like rooms, lost a little bit of its staying power until you got through those couple of dungeons.
Yeah.
So that kept him in it for a little while. I think the nail in the coffin was probably 7. We did not see the power bracelet grab on either end, but we saw you pushing the block, so when we saw that you had that and that Ramrodius did not have it, and it led to level 5, that was the point where it got a little bit too insurmountable, unfortunately, for him.
Yeah. Power bracelet was the right side of 7. And it was on the floor in front of the Goma. But you had to bow into that room. It was the only way in.
Yeah, so it's another seed where 7 had a big item. Usually it's the silvers that like to be in there or the bow, but this time it threw the last dungeon behind the power bracelet, which was in that dungeon. So kind of rings true again in some ways, I suppose.
Yeah. Just watching the last minute, 15 something minutes. I'm glad stream issues. There's one thing that's nice. It made people not see me get wall mastered about one tile away from the sellers and two.
Well, we'll have to go back and clip it from your personal stream before you purge it there and post it in the Discord or something.
Yeah, just got bodied and grabbed.
Yeah, but this, I think, gets you in the clear as far as making it into the next round, still with one match to play, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's gonna be on Thursday, same time. I guess it's gonna be Friday at that point. Yeah, at least for Eastern time.
And I did not see the middle of the group, but I would assume that's still plausible for there to be a couple of 2 and 2. So Ramrodius is not eliminated to this point, though we'll now need a little bit of help from some of the runners.
Yes. I think I did the money was like there's an extremely small chance that I don't make it. It requires like extremely specific scenario. I need to be a triple tie at 3 and 1. And then I had to lose the play-in race.
I'm hopeful to see one player race in this whole setup, but we'll see if the math allows it.
Yeah. After I got the bow and all the 3, I was desperately looking for an arrow shop, and then I was not finding anything. Finding like door repairs and secrets, and door repairs and secrets.
Yeah, the money, despite being kind of high on door repair and below average on the main secret, which is the medium, looked like you were able to kill enough enemies in dungeons to just continue sustaining money. Both of you, in fact, sustaining money. I think it was, 18, 28, 105 with the 25 door?
Yeah.
So it was okay seed, but again, it seemed like both of you at one point or another had 255 or 230 or 188 I see on the screen now. So it turned out money was not the obstacle, which I guess when you get the E key, that takes a little bit of the sting out of the low money, because some of these seeds you end up buying 3, 4, 5 keys just to get anywhere.
Yeah, because the keys were pretty cheap, 64 rupees, but pretty free magic key in one.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Other than that, I don't know if there was a whole lot else that really decided this race. Again, just flute and power bracelet both being required, and you got to one significantly earlier than Ramrodius. The other one still kind of up for grabs. You're still gonna have to hunt that down. So though you may have felt kind of iffy at giving points in the seed, especially once you had to start redigging for silvers, turns out just a little bit unlucky in his digs, and that gave you an advantage. And you couldn't even get the book out of 4 just to knock that out because of the dig dugger. So you got trolled a bit there as well. That's all I know, really. I mean, it was a close race from what we saw for the first 30-ish minutes of the seed, and once you hit the break points of the flute and then the power bracelet, that's what won it.
Yeah, I was kind of panicking a little at the end, because I thought for sure that Ganon was blocked by a staircase, but I just mismapped the level 9 map. There was a room I forgot to mark. Could have just bombed in there and get the Ganon much faster, but in the end,